Hello sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I am a junior at Clemson University studying genetics. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe down below and hit that notification bell so that you are notified when I post new videos. But today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be doing a sit down video to just kind of give you some advice on college. So this is advice for college freshmen, advice for college sophomores, and really just any college students in general. I think sometimes we forget that when we're sophomores and juniors, we're still learning. We are still figuring things out. I'd say my sophomore year was still a year of a lot of growth and a year where I was still trying to figure out who my friends are, figuring out what I wanted to really get out of my college experience, and just still dealing with this pressure that is really placed on students to perform, to get involved, and to basically be this mold of a student, which is just a very hard thing to live up to. So it's really just advice for the college student, just from personal experience, just the things that I've learned from college the past 2 years that I really want to share with all of you. So I'm going to go kind of just in a random order. I was just jotting down some things on this sheet of paper that I wanted to kind of talk about. Things that I really learned over the past 2 years, and the biggest things that came to mind are the things that I think you need to hear the most. So the number one thing is, well, I shouldn't say number one, but the first thing that I'm going to talk about is a lot to do with your academics or grades in college. So I was in high school, I would say, a very good student. I got all A's in high school. I finished third in my class, and I know a lot of people out there who are valedictorians, salutatorians, so you do very well in academics. You placed academics almost as like a part of your identity. I know that I did that, where I felt like I had to get A's, all A's, to get into the school that I wanted. I had to get all A's to basically feel like I was good enough, I would say. I didn't have the most friends in high school, and I just spent so much time studying and preparing for these classes that I really missed out on a lot of experiences. But that's a thing for another day. I would say though that I felt very confident going into college that I had a good study routine. I knew how to prepare for exams. I knew kind of how to have this work-life balance where I definitely made sure that I put academics first. But I got to college, and freshman year I got 2 B's. I got a B in a class that I didn't think I would get a B in. It was biology, and I was going to school and am going to school for genetics. And it really hit me hard. I think I finished that first semester and I thought I was drowning. That whole first semester I was just drowning in work, I was drowning in assignments, and I was just trying so hard. I got a B in my chemistry class by the grace of God, truly. Because I mean for that class, I took the first exam and got a 60. And it was like a slap across the face, because I was like, I'm a good student. And good students do not get 60s on exams. I show up to class every day. I made a study guide. I went to take that exam and I failed. And I was like, if I can't do college, then what am I gonna do? Because these classes were hard, and these were just the beginning. You know, this was the beginning of my college career. These were supposed to be the easier classes, and it was just so hard, and I felt so defeated. I mean, for chemistry, I was going to tutoring like 2 hours extra a week in addition to my class to get one-on-one help, and I still was barely hanging on. Now, I did learn a little bit that semester, and after that 60, I was able to get a little bit better. I got an 80 on the next exam, so we did better. You live and you learn. But the thing is, those aren't the last 2 B's that I've gotten in college. In fact, I've gotten 2 C's. I got a C in physics the next semester, and I got a C in organic chemistry too. So I got a B in Orgo 1 and a C in Orgo 2. And I just say all that to say that the academics are hard. College classes are hard. They are not easy, and just because you were smart in high school or you have a routine that works for you, don't feel like you are going to get to college and that it still is going to work out for you and you're still going to be getting all A's. Just don't put that pressure on yourself, because it's possible. I mean, I have friends who have a 4.0 and they're doing great, and I am so proud of them for just putting in the work and pushing through. But I just want you to know that you can be a perfectly smart person who tries the best of your ability to get ahead in your classes. You're going to office hours, you're showing up to class, and you're making study guides. I mean, for my class that I got a C in, I had tons of sheets of study material, and I got a B in biochem, and you've seen in my previous videos, which I'll put up here, that I had made a 98-page slide for that, and I still got a B in that class. So that's just to say that you can prepare, you can try your best, and that is all that matters. I just know that freshman year, I just felt so defeated, and I felt like I wasn't good enough, and I felt like I wasn't preparing well enough. And if you want to know what I've learned about how to better prepare for college classes and what to really expect as far as exams, because it is much different than high school, I can make another video about that. So please just comment down below if you want to see that, or give this video a big thumbs up. But I just want you to know that grades are not everything. You will hear people put a lot of pressure on grades, but I'm here to tell you, if you're going to grad school, your plans for the future, your grade in that one class you got that one semester is not going to impact your GPA that much. I still have a 3.65, I believe. So, and that's with 2 C's and a couple of B's, and you're going to do fine. So that's just me saying that it's okay as long as you're trying your best. And I just want you to know that your value and your worth and your identity is never, ever, ever found in your grades. God has a plan for you, and he is going to make sure that if you're meant to be a doctor, if you're meant to go to med school, you're going to get the grades that you need to end up in med school. And that's not to say that you can just slack off and not try, but if you're trying and truly giving it your all, you're going to end up where you're supposed to be. But also, God loves you, and I love you, and no matter how well you're doing in school, as long as you're trying your best, that is what matters. Because your worth and your identity is not found in a grade, because everybody learns differently, everybody tests differently, and I just don't want you to put pressure on yourself like I did to live up to these standards that sometimes just aren't attainable. So just give yourself grace, just take a deep breath and say, you know what, that didn't go as I'd hoped. I didn't do as well on that as I thought I would. I prepared really hard for that, but it didn't work out. But that's okay, because God still loves me. I'm trying my best. I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to do better next time. And that will completely change your college academic experience. So I just want you to know that classes are difficult, but it's gonna be okay. Just breathe and get through it. So, to that note, still kind of talking about classes and academics, I just want to advise you to add a little bit of variety. So just, sprinkle a variety into your classes, because freshman year coming in, I took only STEM classes, which was a major mistake, okay? Do not do this. I repeat, do not only take STEM classes, do not only take classes that are for your major. Make sure that you add a variety. So I really love to write. I love writing, I love reading, I really love the social sciences as well. And freshman year, coming in, I had biology, chemistry, a finances class, and I don't really remember exactly what else off the top of my head, but it was only science. That's it. STEM classes only, and that was hard. Because for me, loving to read and all that sort of stuff, it was hard to have 15 credits worth of only science that I had to study very hard for. Oh, I guess it was just the 2 labs probably for those classes, but it just didn't give me a break in my day. It didn't give me a class I could go to and just be like, oh, this is my class that I just breathe in, this is my easy A, or this is just a class where I can socialize and hang out with people who like the same thing as me. I just recommend adding a little variety into your schedule. I have, from now on, always make sure that I add an English class or a psychology class or just anything that is going to spice up my schedule a little bit. Give me a little break in my day, just a brain break. So next I'm going to talk about the pressure that you feel as a college student to just be involved in certain things, to get certain grades, to have friends, just basically to do it all. So I know that being in a STEM major, a lot of students are on the pre-med track, they're going to PA school, whatever it may be. I just know a lot of people who are on that track and have this mindset, and it's almost like you are sitting in these academic meetings and you're molded into this exact person they want you to be for med school. So it's like, you know, I felt like I couldn't do things that I really wanted to do in college or have certain experiences that were more experiences that I wanted because I felt like I had to check off these boxes in order to go to grad school. I felt like I had to work in a research lab because everybody does research and that's what you're supposed to do, right? I hated research. I did not want to be in a lab. I had been in a lab for 5 weeks. I didn't have a good experience and I wanted to do other things with my time. I love to write, I love to create, and I wanted to do something with that. I wanted to help build community on Clemson's campus, but I felt like I couldn't do those things because I had been told that I needed to do research. I had been told that I needed to have showering hours, that I needed to have these hands-on experiences, and basically just that I needed to be this exact type of person to get into grad school, to get into a medical school, whatever. But I had an advisor who looked at me one day and said, Ashley, you need to write your own narrative. If you want to get into grad school, you just need to be able to talk about something that you're passionate about. You need to be able to share with them a story that is your story. Don't do something that you think is something that you need to do, that you don't really love, that you can't really talk about. And that was something that I really needed to hear. And it was honestly the best advice that I have probably ever gotten. And I think that is something that I've applied to my entire college experience. That's why I decided to be an RA. That's why I decided to start a program called C-Care with my freshman year suite mate, and why I started Kindness Rocks Club at Clemson, and just basically started all of these passion projects, started my blog and this YouTube channel, because these are things that I'm passionate about. I want to be able to bring things to the table. I want to be able to change the world and make the world a better place, and just to be able to live out God's purpose for me, because there's nothing else that I want other than to live out his purpose. And I felt this calling and this pull in my heart to go this way. And so my best advice for you is to just write your own narrative. When you go to college, don't feel like you have to do these certain things and stick to this type of person because that's what the application says you need to be. You just need to be who you are. And if they don't want to accept you for who you are and for the things that you like, then maybe that's just God's sign and God telling you that you're meant to go in this other path, and he's gonna open other doors and other opportunities for you. Just go to college, and like I end every video, just be authentic. Go out there and boldly be who you are, fearlessly be who you are, and don't worry about meeting the standards that are set for you by these people in academia. Instead, go be a world changer and do what you want, because that is going to make your college experience so much better than going to a lab because you think that you have to. That's all I have to say about those two things with kind of academics and pressure and stuff. The next piece of advice that I want to give to you has to do more with friendships. So I just quickly want to let you know that the biggest mistake that I made when I went to college was not talking to people. not telling people and being honest with people about how I was actually feeling. So I went to college and I felt completely alone. I felt like I was the only one who was struggling with academics. I felt like I was the only one who didn't have friends. I felt like I was the only one who had no idea what I was doing. Well, hello, reality check, you're not alone. In fact, I guarantee you, majority of freshmen, majority of sophomores, in fact, are struggling with the same exact thing as you. Other college students are struggling with loneliness. They might even look like they have a group of friends, but they're struggling. Because I have been there, and I have talked to friends who have been there. And it wasn't until I started telling my friends and talking to the people that I was close with about these feelings that we realized, oh, we're not actually alone. And we became very close with each other because of that. And I just think that being authentic and being real with people and just open and honest is the bridge to a good friendship. That is the bridge to the start of a friendship, because if you're being fake, if you're acting like you're fine and acting like your college experiences is great and you're just living life and loving it because that's what you think you're supposed to be doing, you're really missing out on what people have in store for you, the friendships that the Lord has in store for you, because He didn't ever design us to walk through life alone, and He's going to put people in your life who are going to walk through those things with you and who are experiencing those same things. And if we are closing our eyes to that and we choose not to look at that and not to open up about that and speak what is on our heart, then we're missing opportunities to meet people, to bond with people. And I just don't want you to miss out on those things ever, 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 because I just want you to be honest and open and real about who you are and about how you're feeling, because you deserve to have somebody to talk to about that. Know though that if you are watching this and you don't have anybody to talk to, that you aren't alone. I have been there, and it will get better. And I can't tell you that it's gonna get better tomorrow. I can't tell you that it's gonna get better sophomore year, but I can tell you that it will. So just be patient and be expectant of what God is going to do in your life. Is this idea that when you get to college, you are supposed to have a group, or you're going to find friends that are going to be your lifelong friends. They're going to be in your wedding party, and you're just going to be this little clique, and it's going to be so fun. Well, I would say that I put a lot of pressure on finding a college group. I thought that I was supposed to have a group of friends. I wanted to have a group, I guess. And I was overlooking the fact that God had placed a lot of wonderful people into my life. Wonderful individuals who were able to serve me in unique ways, who were able to pour into me in unique ways. And when I actually took a step back and realized that I was full and completed by those people, I realized that was God telling me that I didn't need a group. So college isn't about finding necessarily a group of friends. It isn't even, I would say, about finding these lifelong friends, but it's about putting yourself in situations where you can be vulnerable with people and you can share your experience, you can walk through life together, and then God will open up friendships through that. So just don't put so much pressure on yourself to go to college and find friends, but instead just put yourself in situations where you have the opportunity to meet people. So whether that's getting involved with a campus ministry, I would say that's where I found my best friends, the people that you're living with. As long as they're people that you can be authentically you around, and you don't feel like you have to be somebody that you're not, then that is a good friendship for you. And you can continue to be friends with multiple people and not be a part of a group and be fulfilled. But I also want you to know that I felt like I didn't have my people probably until the spring semester of this past year. So COVID played a role in that a little bit, but freshman year I just kind of felt lost and I didn't feel like I really had met my people, and that was hard because I was going into sophomore year and I was like, I'm supposed to have them by now. It's been a whole year. What were you doing? But I just prayed about that and just asked God to open doors, to bring community into my life. And I just felt very lonely in the RA role, living alone. And I can talk about that loneliness, and I could go on for that on about that for a very long time, so I can make another video about loneliness and dealing with loneliness as a college student. So be sure to comment if you feel like that's something you need to hear. I would just recommend that you just pray about that and just pray for God to bring people into your life, because if you pray, he will. And a verse that I really fall back on a lot is from Psalms. It just basically says to be brave, be strong, and just expect God to get here soon. So he might not be here right now, but just don't give up. Don't give up hope, because God is coming and he'll be there soon. The last thing that I just wanted to touch on, just something for all of my college Christians, anybody who goes to college and had a great church back home that they're coming from. The church hunt is difficult. It can be hard, especially if you had a very good and a very strong church community back home, to replicate that when you go to college. But I just want to let you know not to be discouraged. If you have to try multiple churches a few weeks, you know, to kind of find a place that works for you, that's okay. I just don't want you to feel like you ever have to stick with something that you don't like. So just make sure that it's a place and a community that you really feel like you fit in, and that you just really love, because that is what I want for you. So just be patient and pray over that, and just kind of get experiences, ideas from different people to just try and find the home that's best for you. But definitely don't get discouraged by that. And also with campus ministries, I tried multiple campus ministries. I tried campus outreach, I tried Crew, and there's so many more campus ministries that are out there, and eventually found FCA and found that that was the best fit for me. But it's not the best fit for everybody, so just make sure that wherever you do end up, it's right for you, and don't be afraid to try multiple places. Like, it's okay, because you need to be in the right place for you, and you need to be at the place that God has for you, the place that God is going to allow you to grow the most. So that's all for my advice today. That was me trying to kind of condense that very quickly into just a lot of stuff into one video. So if you want to see kind of a series about this and just college advice in general, more in depth about any of the things I talked about in this video, please be sure to like this video, comment down below, ask any questions that you have for me about college or my experience over on my Instagram at DearLittleSis, or Ashley at the Ashley Ardell. So you can get a hold of me those ways as well, through DM or whatever you may want to do. But just know that your college experience is totally yours. So go and live fearlessly, boldly, and authentically you. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.